Hi, I'm Neil Sackmary.
Hi, I'm State Trooper Sean Hagstrom with the Nevada State Police Highway Patrol Division, PEIO. Please stay tuned for the next episode of Trooper Talk.
And together, we can make a difference. Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with this edition of Trooper Talk, soon to have a fireplace. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks for having
me.
I saw you from across the parking lot, and I saw you get out of the car, and you put your tie on and all that type of stuff. And
Right.
you know, the thing is this: professionalism is the thing that Nevada State Police starts at the academy. And you know, I always come back to the fact that if your one thread, like we talked about, is out of place, that means you forgot the bullet in your gun, and you know, hopefully you never need it. But if you do need it, oh, listen, you know, I left that on the bed.
Right.
You know, I'll get it tomorrow. You
Not
know what I mean?
prepared.
Like,
Yeah.
You gotta be
not,
prepared.
This is not the way to do it. So preparedness, right? Please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do.
I'm Trooper Villanueva. I am the sworn recruiter for Nevada State Police down here at Southern Command or the Las Vegas region.
And it's really important. You know what I'm saying?
It
I mean,
is.
it's very, very important. And you, sir?
I'm Sean Hagstrom. I'm a State Trooper with the Nevada Highway Patrol Public Affairs, and I'm their Public Information Officer for Southern Nevada.
And we will get that fireplace right in the middle there.
That's a pretty good idea,
No,
isn't it?
it's fantastic. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
going to get it all nice.
We gotta
and
get the
everything.
holiday thing. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll put some stockings up. You know, you
100%.
know.
Oh,
The holidays,
stockings,
you know.
the stockings. we laugh, we joke. You know, people come in every single day to the store, and they say, "We love what you do with the troopers. We love that you talk with them. We love that we get a chance to see them and laugh and joke and you know, like all these type of things." And so, you know, most of the time, when we have an interaction with someone with a badge with law enforcement, it's in a negative connotation, right? And so a lot of time people don't have time because what are they doing? They have their own life. And so to go to the event that you are at or these type of things, it's very difficult. And so one of the things that the Trooper Talk does is it allows people to see you guys and laugh and joke and do all these funny things. But, you know, it's like I tell people in the store, you know, I wear my flamingo hat and we laugh and we joke and do all this. But at the end of the day, it's a serious business because we're talking about real money.
Sure.
So we have to find that fine line.
Right.
And so when it comes to the recruiting, right, and doing that, you know, we have to find the right people because they have to be nice. You know, I was watching that TV show that I watched with the police, right? They have this guy named Noah in Florida, okay? And he can turn it on like in 1 second and you've seen it, right? But like the other day, this lady was telling him like, no, those aren't my drugs. And he's like, okay, we saw you buy them and put them in your car. No, you know what I mean? And she was yelling at him, right? And he was sitting there and he goes, I'm really sorry. Like, this is who we are. This is what we do. And so when it comes to the Nevada State Police, one of the wonderful things is that they are real people. They have lives. They have families. They want to protect the roadways, right? Because they drive them, and so that's part of the recruiting.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Neil, because Trooper Talk does a really good job of humanizing the badge. You said it perfectly. We have lives outside of this career that we've chosen, right? We have families. We have hobbies that we like to do at the end of the day, during the weekends. We have a lot of troopers that have, I don't want to say better hobbies than policing, but we have a lot of troopers that do a lot of cool things over the weekend. So yes, we are not looking for somebody that's a robot that's just going to come out and enforce laws. That's not what we're asking at all. And I think that's kind of one of the nation's standards across the United States, right, is the troopers are very stern. They're like robots. The knife hand is very iconic for troopers. But we're humans just as much as everybody else. We like to joke. We are compassionate. We are sympathetic to people. We're not these robots that are just out there enforcing laws. And, oh, you speed, so you get a ticket. That's not how we are. We understand that there's circumstances that might happen that cause you to speed. we might have a talk with you and have to intervene sometimes, but we're not always very stern, and we're not always these angry guys that are out on the roads. That's not us 100%. So Trooper Talk does a really, really great job of humanizing us and showing us in a different light, because when we do interact with the public on a traffic stop, it's usually not a good scenario. People doing 100 miles an hour, that doesn't make us happy, because we might have just come from a fatal crash that the cause of this crash was them speeding. So now we have to deal with the speeder that's in front of us. We might not be happy, but we deal with it compassionately, and we deal with it humanely, right? We're not degrading this person because they're speeding, but we do have to go out and enforce these laws.
Yeah. And you know, Sheriff McMahill, okay, announced his sheriff re-election of the rerunning, right, to become sheriff again, okay? And he was on the news organization. They did an exclusive interview the other day, okay? And when he was on there, the thing that he talked about, right, which is the same exact thing that we talk about every week, because they brought up the new, I don't know if you have the picture of it, but the new statistics of, you know, the red background thing from the Department of Transportation that shows the fatalities and the seatbelts and the pedestrians and all that, right?
Sure.
And he talked about the fact of the impairment and the speed. And here's the thing, okay? Children, right? Not that it makes a difference if it's a children or an older person, but children are losing their lives now because of people being impaired around bus stops. Okay? And so Nevada State Police is allowed to patrol any roadway in the state.
Correct.
And so it doesn't matter that it's just on the highway. You know, like we could have the conversation, well, the people are just drunk and they're just on the highway and they're just, you know, going at 100 miles an hour. And, well, how did they get to the highway? You know what I mean? They left here and then they got to the highway and then they did a wrong way driving, which means they were on the roadways before this transpired. And so speed, you know, every day I drive and there are people that go 60 and 70 miles an hour down Flamingo. Normal roadway. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it's not, and so there's a time and a place for these type of activities, and now people are losing their lives, pedestrians. People are losing their lives, children, and people are doing bad things when it comes to the impairment. And the impairment is leading to the speed and all these other things. I mean, forgetting the fact that probably when they're impaired, they're not putting on their seatbelt. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, you know, that would be an interesting conversation. You know, when you're drunk, do you actually put on the seatbelt? Right? But, you know, it doesn't matter. And we need to stop this. And this is what people come in all the time, and they say it in the store, and they're so thankful for the Trooper Talk because they say, we just need to get this message out. And I keep saying to everybody, our roadways are not safe. And so it's really, really important. And so it's something that we started the Trooper Talk on, and we continue to talk every week. And when we talk privately, you're like, we need to get the message out, and we need to get the message out.
Absolutely, and this is what we love about your show, Neil, because we're able to hit the public. And one of the things that, you know, even though our Nevada State Troopers are out there constantly working with our allied agencies too to get this problem off the road, a lot of it falls back on the community. Because we got to get that message out. You know, if you know a friend or something and he's been drinking or something, offer to pay for a ride or take them. You know, there's so many different avenues nowadays, Neil, but the community itself has to start changing what they do. It's not like you're traveling down the highways and there's a bar on the highways and everything. You're right. They have to come from the city streets. And when they pass those city streets, what's there? Bus stops. People with families, you know, people using those crosswalks. And people disregard that because of selfless acts, because they're only thinking of themselves. And I'm sure when you drive down the road, you notice people that, you know, I'll be in a patrol car, but they don't notice it as much. But people are in their own world. Whether they have the music up, they can only see maybe 10 foot in front of their hood. They don't care what's going on the sides of them or anything else. They're like in their own world. You got to pay attention to everything that's going on. Yeah. Like one of the greatest things about your show too is nothing scripted here.
Right.
You know, it was great that you brought up about the stuff that we do with Nevada State Police, other than, you know, we try to humanize the badge. And we're going to show some events. I sent Johnny some pictures to go over, and some of the stuff that we engage with the community. So if people that come to your store, if they want to come to these events and speak with us, we're more than willing to speak and get ideas and, you know, tell them what we're doing on our side. And we're always making that available to the public. So that's one of the things that we want to do, because we want to have a tight-knit community with all of our agencies, allied agencies here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, I want to get to the pictures. It really made me aggravated because the little child lost their life to someone who was and were able to have a conversation because it came out in the news.
Right.
Does that make sense? It's not an internal investigation that you guys did or have any part of. Does that make sense? But it's like, not to say I'm an old man or I'm a young man or, you know what I mean? But like I've lived, and like this child is not going to get a chance to live their life.
Yep, and I was going to bring that up too about,
you know what I mean?
That child. There's not going to be any. You know, the holidays are coming up.
Oh,
you got Thanksgiving, Christmas. You got relatives, family, friends that, you know, little kids that they got to play. They got robbed of their life because of somebody doing a selfless act, and that doesn't only affect because they're gone now. That affects the family.
The whole
you know, it's
family.
traumatic, and just not the immediate family, but grandpas, grandmas. You know, the uncles, the aunts, everybody that loved that child. That child's no longer with us because somebody chose to drink and drive. And one of the things that, like we've always said, you know, hey, we want people to have fun in Vegas, celebrate. It's the entertainment capital of the world.
Of course.
But what we always tell people is, if you had some drinks or you're doing marijuana or you're doing, you know, illicit drugs of some kind, don't get behind the wheel. Just, you know, we have Uber, Lyfts, you know, all the service rides.
Right.
We have taxis, buses, everything available to you. So nowadays, there's no excuse to get on these roads and drive and put other people's lives in danger, and also your own life. Because when you're intoxicated or impaired in some way, which affects your judgment, now you're putting everybody's life in risk, including yourself.
Yeah, and that's what makes me crazy when I was reading this article, right? Like, the guy did marijuana, drove the girlfriend's kids to the school, right? Obviously high, right? And then came back and then hit the little child. And then what did the person do? He went back to his apartment to smoke more marijuana.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? And so anyway, it's just, I agree. You know what I mean? Like, if people want to go do things, go do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with the drugs and the stuff that is illegal and all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? But like, if you're gonna go do something, go do it in the privacy of wherever the heck you're doing it, and leave everybody alone.
How many times you drive down on these roadways and we smell marijuana?
It's horrible.
And it gets so strong, you're at an intersection, you're kind of wondering who's doing this, right? And when they had these laws set to legalize it and sell it legally, that it was supposed to be done at home,
Right.
and not getting behind the wheel of a
Not
vehicle.
getting behind the wheel.
You know what I mean? And we have an issue here in the Valley with people using marijuana,
Yes.
illicit drugs, and alcohol, but yet we're on the show, and we also put stuff out on our social media all the time. We show the arrests that we make. People 3-4 times over the legal limit, still doing what they're doing with not a care in the world to what others are doing out there. You know, I would be devastated. Not only a child, but what if you destroyed a whole family, took a family out, and, I was just having fun. Well, it's not fun anymore. Now you're going to do some prison time, but you not only affected your family too and yourself, but you affected the families the rest of their lives because they lost a loved one, right?
We feed the officers from Spring Valley here every Sunday and Thursday, and so this last Sunday they came in and they had arrested somebody with the marijuana, right? And they said that when they got up to the car, the smoke was billowing from the windows where he thought, as an officer, right? Which I can't even possibly imagine. Like, you can't go up to a car because there's so much marijuana that you don't want to be ingesting it, so that your job may be at risk because now you have secondhand. Anyway, we need troopers.
We do.
We need good, willing people, man or women, and that want to go out there and be a public service to the community. And so it's something that's just so important. And so that's why it's so wonderful that you're here every week, and that you're here every week, as well as we get to talk about the parole and probation and all that from the side of that, like, and I'm not diminishing anything, but like, excuse me, this person, for now the child's life is over, like you said, now it has all these effects of this way, but also the person who did this, their life is over.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so, yes, maybe he deserved it, and I'm not diminishing. I agree, right? But there's two now. This person who took the girlfriend's kids to school every day, which was probably a vital part of this girl being able to go to work, or you know what I mean? Like, it's a family, and so from a parole and probation standpoint, and again, not talking about this or anything like that, but in a generalized thing. I mean, if you do DUI with resulting in death, that's it, right? And you will go and you will serve some time, and then when you get out, it's not going to be easy as well, because you have to rebuild your whole entire life, right?
Correct. Yeah, and a lot of the cases that our troopers do see, they make the arrests, they do the entire workup, and these people go serve their sentences, or they get put on probation. And now it flips to our sister division, parole and probation. Now those officers take over that case. So a lot of the cases that we end up working get handed over to parole and probation to finish out the probation. If they go to prison and they come out and now they're on parole, now they have to finish their sentence on parole with parole and probation. So a lot of the cases that we see, our parole and probation officers also see, and it's we work hand in hand, obviously, but that's one of the beautiful things about Nevada State Police, is that we have different agencies, different divisions that you can work with, and we all co-intermingle, not only Metro or Henderson, North Las Vegas, we all work together to try to mitigate this problem that we have in the Valley.
Yeah, 100%. I want to talk about your friend Ramrod. I got something for him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got him a silver ounce that says Ramrod.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like somebody came in and it has a silver ounce. And anyway, this is Trooper Hagstrom's friend Ramrod. He gave me his little coin. He came on the show and stuff. But anyway, the other day somebody came in and they gave me a silver thing and it says Ramrod. So I was going to give it to Trooper Hagstrom and be like, I almost called him Sean. You see that?
That's okay. That's all right.
Trooper Hagstrom.
Yeah,
and
we're
and
friends,
so
Neil.
You
can call me
know,
Sean.
but
That's
still,
good.
it's you know what I mean. All right.
Well,
so I received something that I thought was amazing, which was a video that Johnny allowed, that you sent me, that, Nevada State Police, anytime that there is anything won, they take it upon themselves with Todd, right? That to do these type of things on their cars to show the support. So this is the Mustang.
Yep, Mustang.
And whose car is that?
And that's Trooper Wellman's. I got to say Corporal Wellman.
I'll say.
Yeah,
So
Corporal Wellman's.
Corporal Wellman drives that. And
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
And then this is Louis' car, because I was out of town for the week, and they had to wrap it because what happened, and we got to tell the public what this is about.
Yes.
Our Las Vegas Aces, our women's basketball professional league, they won their third world championship in 4 years. Unbelievable. I mean,
Killing it. Yep.
I mean, they're what do you call it? Their team and everything else have just gone up in value like tenfold. You know what I mean? It's amazing. 3 world championships in 4 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're creating a dynasty. It's pretty cool.
They are.
It's amazing.
So one other thing is with anytime we have our professional teams, they win a world championship. Like we did it for the VGK when they came up and they won the Stanley Cup. Las Vegas likes to put the parades on. So us being state police, we're able to do the escorts for this. So this coming Friday, tomorrow,
Yes.
at 5 p.m., it's going to start at Las Vegas Boulevard and Russell, and it's going to go to T-Mobile. And you'll be able to see our cars. You'll be able to take pictures with them and everything else. But we're going to escort the bus with all of our world champions tomorrow evening. And it's going to be an amazing thing. But what our department allows us to do is we're able to put the banners on our hood of our car to show our appreciation to the community, to the team, show them how much that we support them, and how much we're excited to be part of it. And this is a great thing for Vegas, and it's amazing. So we're just proud to be a part of it. I got to go to Las Vegas Aces with Ashley. Me and Ashley went.
Yeah.
And she's in heaven because this is her team too. So, and we
She's
got to
always
put
loved them since she was on here.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yes,
And she has contacts there that they love her there too. And so on the left side was the 2023. This was the new 2025 trophy, and this was their very first one. I think it was like 2020 or something that they won. So all 3 World Championship trophies, we were able to put them out by the car in front of their offices where it says Las Vegas Aces, and we lined it up to try to make it really cool. But it's exciting to be part of this, to go along with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he needs more reasons for people to take pictures of his car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, "You got enough pictures."
They've
of
been
your
doing
car."
mine a year and a half, so yeah, we
Right.
got to get
He's
him.
like,
there.
"Listen, they got
Yeah.
enough pictures of your Mustang.
Yeah.
Let me get some of mine." You know.
One thing is, he's going to allow Ashley to drive his car
Yeah.
in the parade. And there's another female lieutenant. Perez is going to be in there with
Oh
her.
yeah.
And then we got some more female troopers are going to be there because it's women's basketball. And we want to show people that, you know what? You know, we're a very diversified department. And we're always looking for women troopers.
Of course.
And what better to represent than women, because we got a women basketball team.
Yes.
And now we got women troopers escorting them. How cool is that?
That's the best.
Right? I mean, that's pretty awesome stuff.
You know, when Trooper Wellman and then Corporal Wellman would come on here, you know what I mean? Like, we would always highlight the Mother's Day and all these type of things, and, you know, always show that the women can go there and do the same exact thing that the men can do, and they do the same exact things. And so that's very special. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so, you know, we think the Aces are fantastic. Ever since she came on Trooper Talk, they always supported her and supported Nevada State Police and everything. And so that's fantastic. And so it's fantastic. And it's fantastic. So what do you walk on the side of the car? I'm making
I think he just gets to drive her car and
Yeah.
not even show up.
Yeah, not show up. Yeah, I'm not available for the parade, which I'm a little bummed out about. But Corporal Wellman will be driving my car, and she'll be out there at the parade tomorrow night. So
that's fantastic.
yeah,
You
we
know what I mean?
love to show off our champions. So yeah.
I think it's fantastic, and the picture's fantastic, and you know what I mean. Like we think it's great, and so that's fantastic. All right. So we did the coffee with the cop, and tell me about this.
Well, a while back, this was several months in the making. I contacted our Metro partners up in Northwest Area Command, and I said, hey, why don't we get together and do a coffee with a cop, because it's Faith in Blue. And that's getting our community partners and some religious leaders and people that want to just come out and meet the police and troopers that work your areas. And so Metro reached out to Eggworks up on the Northwest area, and they said, Sean, we got an area, we can do it and everything. Let's just get it out on social media. I was thinking about doing a video, but we ended up doing a couple flyers, sending them out. And it was a great turnout. I mean, we had a pastor, we had a deacon, we had probably 6 officers from Northwest Las Vegas, and our parole and probation also showed up. We had a whole table of parole and probation guys. We had several troopers. Louis was able there. And his wife and family, the kids showed up too. You know what I mean?
It was a great
So
time.
this was like a couple hours, and we had people coming on and off, you know, people thinking about being a trooper or a Las Vegas Metro officer. So we were able to talk to some of those people, and just some other people just wanted to drop by and say, hey, thanks for what you do, and kind of wanted to talk to us about that. And this is one of the good things where we get to, like we talked before, is humanize the badge.
Right.
You know, show them that, you know, we aren't robots. We're actually people too. Our kids use the same roads, go to the same schools. you know, even though we put this uniform on, we just want to protect you and make sure the community is safe. So we want people to come out and enjoy themselves and have a cup of coffee. A lot of people got breakfast. You know, we have people coming and going. I mean, you can see how filled up, and then people would leave and more people come up, and it was good. It was like a couple hours. So we were really excited to connect with the community, and I've talked to Metro, and they want to do some more with us. So we're probably going to, we're probably going to try to do the same place because there's a big outdoor thing. And when the Faith in Blue is once a year, right? So I said, hey, let's try to do the bit because it's bigger and we'll get more people, we'll do more signage. So next year will probably be bigger, but we're going to try to do some more Coffee with a Cop because it just allows people to meet their community leaders and officers and be able to talk to us about different things.
Yeah. I think it's wonderful. Your family came?
They did. Yes. Yeah, they're in that back corner up there. Yep.
Oh, is there a picture of her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, Whitney was on the show
Yeah.
right there. There she is. And her mom.
Your family is all part of the Nevada State Police.
They are, yes.
And so, you know, we embarrass you by saying these type of things, but it's really an inspiration. It's an inspiration for people that go, you know what? Can I work with my husband? Can I work with my mom? You know what I mean? Like, can I work with my father? You know, like all these type of things, you know, and so, you know, hearing when your mom came on about you growing up and what type of boy you were, and you know what I mean? Like, these are the type of things that we need to hear, right? So that people know that you need no experience.
None at all.
You need a good heart. You need a good head on your shoulders. You need to be able to listen. You can't be an angry person, right? Like, all these sort of prerequisites are there. But the best part about it is that Nevada State Police gives you everything. Gives you the best equipment, the best uniforms, you know, like all these type of things that you talk about. And that's why now, you know, a lot of people, they say that the recruiting from the military is at its highest point now because a lot of people are going back to the loving of the country and things of this nature. And so now is an excellent time to look at ourselves, go look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know, is this something that I want to do? Because if it is, then they need to get on the phone with you.
Oh, yeah.
They need to call you. They need to start this process because it's not 1 week and you're approved and you go to the academy.
Right.
This is sort of a long process because they want to ensure that you want to be there and that you're a right fit for the Nevada State Police. And, you know, one of the things which I didn't think about until, like, you know, we talked last time, which was you can't be in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to carry a firearm to work for the police department, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, these type of things, but they're very, very important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, a lot of the other agency recruiters and PIOs, I talk to them and I say, hey, I do high schools. I'll go out and talk to the high school kids. And they're like, but they're 18. They can't join the sworn side of it. And I say, no, what I like to explain to them is the decisions that you make today will affect you in the future, correct? So, like, if you do something bad today, it's going to follow you for the rest of your life. So please make good decisions now. So when you do become of age, you can come join us. And the back end of that, too, is if you graduate high school and you don't have any plans of doing military or going to school or anything like that, come be a civilian staff. You can do dispatching. You can work the front office. Funny enough, I feel like I don't ever stop recruiting myself even off duty. My cousin also works for Highway Patrol. She's one of the front office staffs, so she's there as well. So it's just nonstop for me. Yeah, I'm trying to take the family and take over NHP. No. No, but it
Future major, maybe.
Right. But your cousin really works there.
She does. Yep, she works under Whitney. So yeah, she's one of the front office staff and great person. As like we always say, Nevada, we have the finest that work for us, and we're looking for the finest to come and join us. We're not looking for any experience. We will train you from the bottom up, even if you want to be a civilian staff. If you're not ready to carry that badge and that gun, we will show you how to do the job.
So let me ask you, like, do you hang out with your cousin?
I'll go down there and I'll say hi to her every now and then, yeah.
But, like, I mean, outside of work?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like you hang out?
Yep.
And so when you're with your mom and your wife and your cousin and all this, do you, like, not that you talk about Nevada State Police, but, like, do you talk about things like, other than work?
Yeah, for the most part, work will come up most of the time.
will,
though. Yeah.
right?
We will bring up work more often than not.
Right,
Oh
right.
yeah, this guy today. Oh, we helped this person today. So yeah, it comes up more often than not.
But it helps you though,
Yeah.
because it sort of allows you to be able to talk about these things
Right.
versus sort of bottling them up.
correct,
And I know
yeah, absolutely.
you've always expressed that you talk to your wife. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
so, like, to be in this industry, you need to have some form of that release,
Right.
To be able to talk and stuff like that. And so, but that's very cool. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, future major, right?
You'll have everybody under it.
This is what I'm
Everybody.
saying.
You know,
what I mean?
grandkids, everybody, you know?
Right? Grandkids and everything.
It'll be
How
like
old are
3
your kids now?
generations.
8, and the other one, my youngest just turned 5 today.
So 10 years, you know what I'm saying? 18.
It'll be generational
Right,
yeah.
officers.
So
there,
what are
yeah.
you doing when you're
That's
18?
okay.
You know what I'm saying? National Night Out.
All right, Neil. October
Look
7th.
at this.
Oh yeah, October 7th was National Night Out, and we were had 3 different areas, and we had downtown Summerlin, we had Henderson, and North Las Vegas, and then the next night I had to go down to Laughlin. We had a National Night Out, which was really big. So this year it was amazing. This top right one was the day after. This was down in Laughlin, and we always include our pro and probation with us and everything with Nevada Highway Patrol. This is us down in downtown Summerlin with pro and probation, Nevada Highway Patrol. And that's one of our biggest events. We had so much going on. It was amazing down there. And then we had our group down in North Las Vegas and Henderson. You remember Broadcheck?
I was
He
just going to say,
yeah.
look at him standing
Yeah.
all like...
all proud with the pro and probation, but
I
they're
gotta
down
send
at
him this
Henderson.
picture later and be like, yeah, you were on Trooper Talk again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, one of the things that we just talked about too, even with Coffee with the Cop, is a great time for people to come out and meet the police and state troopers that work in your communities, and just bring the kids out and have fun. We always have things set up or given stuff. Neil was so gracious to us that he got the black little trooper hats that for Trooper Talk that we
yes.
got to hand out.
Yes.
And before we had the Halloween bags that you got and all this different stuff. So we like to have that type of support, and there's always McGruff. It shows up. He showed up at probably all 3 things. They probably took him to one place, and unless they have like 3
gotta go.
McGruffs, they moved them all around because we even took pictures of them at downtown Summerlin
Yeah.
too. So I mean, I think McGruff was really making a scene going
Oh,
all
for
over the
sure.
place. But no, it's fun, and it humanizes the badge like we always talk about, and we love socializing with the community and kind of getting their input and kind of letting them know, kind of like what your show does. You kind of give the behind the scenes of Nevada State Police. They get to know us. They get to know what we do. It's just not pro and probation or highway patrol. We have other divisions that we've talked about. You know what I mean? So this is a chance for the people to get tighter with us, develop community partnerships. And that's what we love to do is do some of these big events. And this is always once a year around October 7th. Yep.
So Sergeant Broadcheck was the first person for Nevada State Police that I ever met. That was in 2015 when we did the thing for the Las Vegas rescue mission. And so they did the giving of the gifts and all this type of stuff. Well, and his wife, Mitchie's Munchies, always makes us the things that we give to you guys and all that type of stuff. So I always told him that I always wanted to do this, and that's how we started the Trooper Talk.
Okay.
And then it went from him to Sergeant Smacka and him, and then Trooper Wellman, and then Corporal Wellman. And so, the thing is that when it comes to the Nevada State Police, they've always been supportive of many different things of the community. And, that's what people need to understand. That, like, you guys go out there. You don't get paid for this. This is not overtime. This is for the goodness of what you guys do. And you could certainly say, I'm not available. Or like, today's not a good day. Or, whatever. But that's not the case. And so when it comes to the recruiting part of what we do, and I keep coming back to it, you need to be very special. You need to be dedicated. You need to say that this is what I'm going to do for my life. It's not going to be an after-school job or something like this. You know what I mean? Like, if you work for the Nevada State Police, you have to be ready to go. And so the thing is this, that like you spoke about earlier, you know, there's a time for laughing and sort of having a conversation. But what the important thing people have to know is that if you push and you break the law, that you break the law. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not like you can't get in trouble for a DUI. Like I see them on the TV show. You know, they get busted for the DUI, and then they go, well, can't I just drive home?
Right. Can't you,
You know what I'm
follow me
saying?
home? Yeah.
But they got to realize that there's always consequences
Right.
to your actions.
Right.
Right. And, you know, we're always going to follow the law. You know, we can be a little bit lenient at times, but for stuff like DUI and stuff, I'm sorry. Even if it was another officer or anybody else, you're end up going to jail, because those are the things that can actually severely hurt somebody or kill somebody, which we already know. You know, we can be lenient as officers, maybe giving us a break on speeding or other violations where we can just talk to you about it and say, hey, don't do this anymore. You know what I mean? And get away with that. But certain things, we have to enforce it, and there's a reason why those laws are in place, is to protect everybody in our society, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of, and that's one of the best things about Nevada State Police. Some of our agencies in town don't have as much discretion as we do. We have a good amount of discretion. Our command and our sergeants, our lieutenants, trust us to go out and do the best work that we can. But what the community, I don't think, understands is that there are certain laws that we cannot have discretion on. There's certain laws that are written, must arrest or must take to jail.
That goes for warrants, like what he's
warrant,
saying.
yeah.
That's coming from a judge.
Yeah.
So we don't have a choice to, even if it's
I
a
wanted to bring
seatbelt
that up.
warrant, you got to take them, because
Yeah.
it says you shall take to jail.
Yeah. So there's a lot of the stuff that the community, I don't think, understands, that we have. Yes, we do have discretion on some violations, speeding. Sure, we don't have to write you for the full speed that you were doing, and we can knock it down 10, maybe if it's warranted, right?
Trooper's discretion.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of laws that are in place in Nevada that we do not have discretion on, and we have to act on. So just pushing that out to the public as well, I think, is important.
Yeah, because that's what they show on the police show that I watch. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, somebody will get in trouble for a warrant, and so you know what I found more now that they keep doing. So what they'll do is they walk up to the they most of the time they walk up to the passenger side, right? No matter
Safety.
what road they're on.
Right.
Does that make sense? But what they do now is they go, okay, you know, to the driver, you know, give me the license, registration, you know, and all this type of stuff, right? And then they go, I need your ID, to the passenger, right? Because they want to ID that passenger, and so now the passengers say, I'm not giving you anything, I'm not allowed. And what people have to know is that from a driver's standpoint, that if you ask them for their driver's license and this type of material, that they, would you say, like, they're obligated? They have to, right? Like, they always say that it's the case law,
Right.
and like, this is what it is. If you're driving on the roadway, I need to identify you. And so now what I've watched is the people get so angry, they go, I'm not telling you who I am. And they go, okay, no problem. We're going to take you to jail.
Right.
We're going to list you under
fingerprint.
Jane Doe. And then when you get down there, and then when they fingerprint you, then they'll... And so instead of just, you caught me, I'm busted, that's the end of it, there's this long drawn-out thing, which again comes back to the fact of why you need to have special people. Because most people, when someone is doing these type of things, they're going to get pissed.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be like, listen, I've had just about enough of you, and I'm going to take you and throw you in the car. And so it's not what happens. You know what I mean? There is this act of professionalism
Absolutely.
that the Nevada State Police does. And so, you know, it has to be done.
Right.
And so this is something that's very, very important, right?
Right. Yeah, we're looking for people that are willing to come out and not react in that manner. Right. There's a lot of misconception on social media, online, where people are telling certain individuals how to react when you get pulled over by law enforcement. Don't give them your ID. Don't identify yourself. And those are incorrect. Right. Those are not gonna end well for you, because we might be pulling you over. Hey, you have a busted taillight. I don't know if you know, but that's why I'm stopping you. And now it has escalated to this of you going to jail now, right? Versus me coming just to tell you, hey, you have a busted taillight. Now you're going to jail because you failed to identify yourself. So Yes, please just if you are in a car, please identify yourself. A lot of the times you might not get a ticket. We're just looking to talk to you to see what's going on with you, right? Or worst case scenario, you get a ticket and then you go handle it, no big deal, right? But yes, we're looking for people that'll come out, not react in a manner that would make the department look bad, which I can proudly say that I don't think we've ever had any officers act that way, because we do train them from the very beginning. Hey, they're just looking for a reaction. They're looking for you to escalate to that situation, and we do a really good job of de-escalating. We go through a lot of verbal judo tactics, which teaches you how to de-escalate situations. We know that these people are looking for a reaction for us, and sometimes that angers them even more, but we still don't escalate to that situation because we know how to bring it back down. And hey, I'm just trying to talk to you. Just identify yourself and we'll be on our way. And that's as far as it has to go. It doesn't ever have to escalate to anything more.
Always. I mean, every 10 people, you know, exactly like you said, the officer not you guys, but on the TV show, right? The officer will pull somebody over for a simple thing, which is a lot of times they pull them over for the tag light. The tag lights are out,
Right.
because they drive an older car, and you don't think that when you get in the car that the tag lights aren't on.
To
and
check, right?
It's
Yeah.
not something that we check, right? And so they pull them over and they go, look, I just want to tell you, you know, go to the AutoZone, and, you know, it's $5. The guy will probably help you. You know what I mean? They'll
Yeah.
fix it.
Got a fuse
and,
out,
and
yeah.
instead they come up and and every time they go this whole big thing, and they go, look, dude, I just came up to just tell you that, and now you're in handcuffs,
Right.
because you wanted to be silly and you didn't want to do this, and so if you get in trouble, just you're done.
And you're not going to win an argument either, because that's for court. If you think the officer's in the wrong or something else is going on here, that's your day in court to present your stuff. And you got to always remember too, and I want the public to know, we have double cameras.
Yeah.
We have one on us required at all times, and we also have one in the car. So there's double shots of you. It doesn't matter if somebody's going to film us with a phone or whatever. I've ran into that numerous times. I'm like, they tell me they're filming. I'm like, that's fine. You can film all you want. You're also on our film. You know what I mean? And just to keep it honest, you know, that's how everything works out. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we do too.
And he brings up a good point. They almost have a double coverage. If they think that we are in the wrong, absolutely go argue it in court. Your trooper will show up in court. We'll fight it. We'll argue about it in court, correct? However, if you think that there's more, we also have internal investigations that, hey, this trooper mistreated me. They were rude and discourteous to me. We have our own internal investigations that'll come and review all those body cameras and do an internal investigation on us. So I think that also speaks a lot to the officers not escalating those situations, because they know that, for one, we're being recorded twice. 2, this is going to be brought up in court. And 3, this can also turn into an internal investigation. So our officers are not going to
jeopardize
their careers
Absolutely.
For something silly as a speeding ticket or a moving
And plus, we
violation,
train
right?
them how to
Correct.
react, and you know what I mean. We've already
Yeah.
talked about that with verbal judo and de-escalating, and making sure that, you know, it's like a client service. You know, we got to treat them with respect. You know, the department always wants us to look the part, because we're not only representing the Nevada Highway Patrol Parole and Probation, we're representing the great state of Nevada. So we always want to be in our best. And we want to show them that we're our best, and that's why we always tell people, if they want to work for us, we're looking for Nevada's finest, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I've always said. And it takes a little bit of time to get through the process, but once you complete it, once you earn that badge, because it has to be earned, it's not given, that's something that's very prideful, you know, and you have that the rest of your life. And not only that, if you do the whole full career, you'll have a retirement for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits to this agency, not only getting your own office, your own car to drive, and the equipment provided and everything else. There's a lot of aspects of being a state trooper or parole probation, because there's a lot of freedom. When you're a state trooper, you got whole vast areas where city police have to stay in city or little districts, or a county has to stay within the county. We're statewide, so we don't really have a jurisdiction unless you're just working a certain area, like in Vegas, or, you know, even you go to these rural areas, you might be working 200-300 miles areas, and you're the trooper out there. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of growth, and a lot of good things that can happen by just being a state trooper. I mean, you'll see things that you might not ever want to see, but then you get involved in things that nobody else gets to see or do,
Right.
which is great too. Kind of like with the aces and some of the stuff that we
Yeah.
get to do on the side.
And I agree, and I love the fact of the body camera, because too many people, say that I'm gonna film. It's like, no problem, I'm filming this, and you just went, like Sergeant Barachek went down there. You know what I mean? He can go to Henderson, he can go to North Las Vegas, he can go to Mesquite, he can go to wherever he wants, and that's what it is.
Well, and the cameras really save us too, Neil. And not only it saves the public, it's for everybody, but we've had accusations on troopers that they did this or did this to me and everything. But what they don't understand is, even though we have a frontward camera in our car videoing, we also, if you're arrested in the back, we also have another camera there. So there's actually like two cameras in the car, like where you're sitting arrested,
yeah.
there's another camera there, so that it watches everything from you getting seat belted in to you getting driven to the jail.
Conversations
and then we have
are recorded.
Yep, conversation, everything. So it protects them and the officers. And we've had officers where we're accused of major stuff. I won't go over what was accusations. Of course, it goes to our Office of Professional Responsibility, which is like internal affairs.
Yeah.
And they're like, this never happened. And the people lie. They'll even write written statements out. And they're like, you want to retract that? Because it tells you that you will be charged with a misdemeanor crime if you falsify. That's falsifying a police report. You're making a report on somebody. You know what I mean? It says it on there.
Falsifying.
So you really gotta. The cameras are a blessing. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, 100%.
So it protects everybody. And I like the cameras. I always liked it because when I did drug interdiction, and I was out there and I got permission to search cars, whatever, and I'm pulling out several hundred pounds of dope. It's kind of hard for the defense attorney to say, well, it wasn't my guy, and it wasn't. Everything's on video. You know what I mean? From your conversation to pulling out the drugs and everything. So the cameras are really very, very well for us and the public to help everybody. And before we go, Neil, I wanted to show you that Neil has this Trooper black caps up there that we had, and we do a lot of stuff with Nevada Donor Network.
We love the Nevada Donor Network.
Yeah, we always try to promote Nevada Donor Network, so we always provide that material out there too also.
It all starts with a conversation.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
All right, let's see what else we got. Trooper Hagstrom worked with Johnny, and they got great photos. I don't even know what that. Look at this.
Well, this is one of our NHP motor officers.
Yes.
And I heard the call come out, so this is how I got
you
some of the
drove there.
photos. So since he was a motor unit, he doesn't have a jack in the car, so he calls another trooper to come out, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm already there. I didn't cancel the other troop just in case my jack didn't work. You know what I mean? Because last time mine didn't work, and I got a brand new one, so I wanted to make sure it worked. But I ended up getting it to him, and because the person driving the car, which people need to know that they need the proper equipment in their cars, jacks and all this other stuff. But I was able to get him the jack and everything, and he didn't even know. This motor officer didn't even know I was taking photos of. I just wanted to show that this was on the I-215, down by Durango.
Okay.
When you come around the corner and going northbound, and this lady got a flat, and she was on her way to work, and he's like, "Hey, I'll take care of it for you and everything," and so we got the jack. He got it taken care of, and I just wanted to show you that even though they're on motors, they're out there assisting and helping people every day. That's our job, right? But even though he didn't have a jack, he called one of our, and another trooper showed up just in case I didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it gives him a little bit of coverage, with the cars coming around the corner right there at Durango, and he was able to get it successful, and she's made it. I'm
work.
sure on time on work because she wasn't that late, but she was worried about being late, but he got it changed pretty fast. Very fast.
This is another thing. So like I said, we will train you from the bottom up. There's a lot of people that we encounter that don't know how to change a tire. At the academy, we're going to teach you how to train it or how to change a tire, because this might be something that you're going to do. So that's something that a lot of people don't think about. The academy will show you how to change a tire, how to effectively change a tire, and what to tell them, because a lot of these, this is a spare tire that's not meant to be driven for more than at least a week, and a lot of these tires can't go more than 55 miles. Yeah,
Yep,
55 miles an hour.
Not 80.
Not 80,
Not
correct,
80.
yeah.
Yeah, and we looked on it.
I thought
Yeah.
that they drive them for a month and they can go 80 miles an hour.
No, yeah, because then that's going to happen all over
Right.
again, and it's probably worse because it's a smaller tire.
And they're so small too
Right.
that that's why they give you a few days. It's supposed to be so it gets you limped right back to the
Wherever you
repair
go.
station to get it repaired.
So we will again teach you literally from the bottom up, ground up, how to do everything that pertains to our job.
Yeah, and this tire was a complete blowout.
Yeah,
if you
completely.
see
Oh,
it,
yeah.
I mean, she had a side blowout, so everything got shredded when he was taking that
She
off.
didn't hurt somebody or herself.
No. She was able to pull off safely, and she called, and we had a trooper just stopped out, and I think she, even though she made a call, I think a trooper already saw her and came over, and that was the motor trooper and helped her out. So.
Do they teach you like not life saving, but like life saving message, life saving things at the academy?
Measurements, they do, yes. So they'll teach you CPR. They go through a TAC med class, so if there's like an active shooter situation, active assailant situation, there's steps
Like
that
tourniquets and all
correct,
that.
yeah,
Type of stuff?
chest seals, packing wounds. They, again, from the bottom up. Obviously, you're not qualified to like go out and do medical procedures. and
right,
what-
of course. But
However,
in an emergency,
correct, the preservation of life. That's what they focus on.
Yeah, if there's an artery or something, we're
correct.
able to stop the bleeding.
Tourniquets.
Yeah.
There's different equipment that we use, and there's I don't know if in the previous pictures we issue med bags, and in those med bags there's a tourniquet, 2 chest seals, and some gauze to stuff wounds if there's severe wounds and whatnot. And that's not even just for active assailants, but also severe crashes. People get ejected or arms get cut severely. We can do life preserving measures before medical even gets there. So yes, we will teach you how to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just popped in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this is the type of thing that first of all, the motorcycle officer is out there, pulled over without that other car there. He's like a sitting duck
Right.
to somebody coming around the road who's not paying attention, and we know that people aren't paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, one of the things that people have to recognize is that sometimes people have to, be very weary of what they're driving. Now, let me ask you a question. If this situation happened again, right, is the person better to go to the right-hand side or the left-hand side?
We always want people to pull over, especially on a traffic stop. We always tell people to always go to the far right side. Fortunately, around this corner, it worked out because this was a very wide area, and
Right.
she had a blowout, and instead of trying to maneuver her car all the way across with the blowout, it could be on rims. It could even cause a
Just
crash
pull
if
off
she
to the
couldn't
side.
handle it. She was able to pull off, and there was plenty of room on this side. It's not always like that. We
Right.
always try to tell people to go where the widest shoulder, which is always on the right. But she was able to make it off to the left here because there was sufficient shoulder, and it was probably wise because she had a complete blowout. So the longer that you would drive on that, it doesn't. You could actually be on rim, and it could cause you to crash or just trying to get over all those lanes. Because you got to think all these cars are traveling
Yeah.
like 70,
No, that's
80,
what I'm
90
saying,
miles an
right?
hour.
And I'm thankful that there's
She
another
did the right thing. She did the right thing. And it was lucky that she just had the right amount of shoulder there to take care of that.
So it worked out for her too because it was on the left side, so that left shoulder gave them a little bit more of comfort instead of him being out in the roadway. But it is written into NRS. If you do see red and blue lights behind you, whether it be fire, police, medical, you have to pull over to the right.
Right
move over
side.
law.
Move over law.
And,
Correct.
and you're sure that 80 doesn't mean go 80 miles an hour
I'm,
on the little tire,
I'm,
right?
I'm 1,000%
We're
positive.
pretty positive. That's more a part number there.
That's
Yeah.
the part number. All right, good. Just making sure,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm not saying she's doing it, but we've seen
Correct. Yes.
And we even tell
people
them
in the general
we even tell them, that hey, you need to get this fixed. You can't drive on a few days. And then I also show them on those spares. It does say
Yeah.
45 or 55. It will give you a limit. That one was 55 miles per hour. So she can't go exceed 55 because then it's not safe driving on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out. You know what I mean? Somebody might say, you're wrong. That says 80. I can go 80 miles an hour. Following too close.
Yep, this is part of Sean's
Safety tips. We missed this.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
We need a little jingle for
I
that.
know.
that
Johnny-
Johnny
We
needs
need
to play
we
it
need
well.
a jingle for the Sean safety tips.
Sean.
Ding, 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 ding. Sean safety tips.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sean's
a good
gotta say
idea.
it.
Yeah.
And then we'll
You know what we'll do? He wants to do the Thanksgiving thing where we have to prepare. So for the safety, so we can do a Sean safety tip. We can get him on the green screen. We can get him dancing like an elf or something, John.
As I
You
say,
know
you
what
should
I'm
get his
go.
head and then
Right,
just like
ding,
bouncing.
ding, 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 ding.
That's funny.
But you let me just say this, that you take this upon yourself to do these type of things because these are the important things that you see
Absolutely.
from your third office move. You know what I'm saying?
Third office move, which is true. I mean, well, 3 times just in one office,
Right.
but then another one. Yeah, but I think I'm settled for right now.
Settled.
Yeah.
And so in your office, you see a lot of different things. Some obviously you can't discuss, which is totally fine. You know what I
Sure.
mean? But you see things that we don't get a chance to see. So when things pop into your mind, you go, okay, this would be a great idea to express on the show because these are problems that we have outside of the speeding and impairment. So
Yeah, and I'm going to reiterate what we always say. You know, a lot of our fatal crashes here in the state of Nevada, the biggest 2 contributing factors are speed and impairment, right? But one of the biggest thing is here in the Las Vegas Valley, we average probably 46,000 traffic collisions every year. So, and Nevada Highway Patrol alone does 16 to 17,000 crashes a year, and then that's our other allied agencies, whether it's Metro, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and then you wonder why there's a personal injury attorney billboard every other thing, because there's just too many crashes, and a lot of it deals with the speed. But I must say this is probably one of our top contributors, and I've put this on our show several times and had different photos or whatever. And under NRS 484B 127, that's the following too close law, you always want to give yourself some time and distance. And what I tell people is, you know, some will say the 2-second rule or 3 to 4 seconds, given that following time. And, you know, the bad thing about Vegas is we get a lot of congestion, whether it's construction or just our roadways, how they're designed, that we're, everybody is coming or going around the same time. So it's like an inchworm effect. You know, you'll speed up, slow down, speed up. And that's why I always tell people, hey, if you drop something in the car, just leave it. You know, just get it later unless you're parked or whatever. Don't be messing around with your phone or any other things, you know, having other distractions with people, because when you're in that heavy traffic, it just takes a second to look down or whatever, and you're in a crash because somebody has to stop in front of you. Either somebody cut somebody off, or they speed up and then automatically they start slowing down. So what I tell people too is, a lot of times when you're following that traffic, make sure you look 10 cars or even beyond that to see what's going on ahead of time. A lot of times when you start seeing those brake lights come on way ahead, that means that there's either something in the road going on, or maybe it's just get congestive, and now you know that everybody's going to start stopping because all those lights. And you want to give yourself a little bit of cushion and time. Here in Vegas, a lot of people, when they're driving, they're just looking upon their hood of their car. And I always tell people, don't do that. You know, if you don't want to look 10 out, at least look 2 or 3 cars and see what's going on. Because everybody's just looking at the hood of the car, or they're not paying attention what's going on to the left or right of them. You know, and that's where somebody might come in and cut off. This morning, I was going to try to stop somebody, but then I had some cars. Traffic got pretty congested on 215 this morning, and I had somebody just tailgating right on somebody's back end, and I'm like, I got to stop this, because all this Tesla has to do is just barely stop, and it's going to be a crash because this guy's following the whole time. But I had a couple cars get in between, and he got around him, and I couldn't get to him. You know what I mean? And it wasn't one of those things where I could really justify putting my lights and sirens just to go stop that. But these are the kind of things that we're looking for. You know what I mean? And if I would have been able to get a little bit closer and able to stop him wherever he got off or whatever, I would end up stopping, at least talking to him, or a possible ticket for that. You know what I mean? Because you cannot, you know, another thing is the turn signals too. You know, they don't put them on the cars for show. You know, at least let people know that you're going to be exiting. You just don't go across the lanes and go like, you'll see a lot of that. But I always want to bring, I know I've brought this up maybe 3 or 4 times in our show over the year, because this is such an important factor of people just driving here in the valley. They're following too close, which is tailgating, and and speed's the other one. And this is what's creating most of our crashes here in the valley, is following too close. We call it due care. A lot of people fail to reduce their speed when they're driving, and they're not paying attention. So that creates a due care, you know, ticket. And a lot of crashes are due to care because they're not reducing their speed. And guess what? When it gets congested and they're falling too close, guess what? We have a crash every time. So this is one of the reasons I want to hit this quite a bit, is because speed and this following too close is really a big problem here in the valley.
Yeah.
I think what the public needs to understand too, two things. One, it doesn't take a whole lot to injure somebody. So even if you do hit somebody at 20 miles an hour, it doesn't take a whole lot to split someone's disc in their spine, have them get whiplash. So that now turns into an injury crash. And now that affects your insurance, correct? But also, airbags get deployed between 20 to 30 miles an hour. So just because you're doing 20 miles an hour doesn't mean that your airbag's not going to go off if you do rear end somebody. And a lot of the newer cars, once those airbags are deployed, your car's totaled. They can't fix that anymore. So now that's even more money that you have to come out of pocket for insurance, new vehicle. So a lot of these people are like, oh, if I do hit somebody, it won't be that bad. You don't know what the outcome's going to be. So whether it's injuring somebody, whether it's totaling your car because 2 of your airbags went off. So it's just something to think about. Give yourself that little bit more distance to react to whatever's going on the road.
And one of the things that I was thinking about when you were saying that is that if someone is following too close and they see the car in front of them slam on the brakes and they do a swerve, number one, it's their fault if they hit someone, right? It would be if someone is following too close and they went like this and there was a person there or something like that, then they would be at fault for hitting that person, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things that not only from a highway standpoint, but from a roadway standpoint, that you could be driving down the road at 50 or 60 miles an hour and being too close, and then all of a sudden you try to go like this and there's something there that you don't see, maybe a worker in the road or whatever, and you're not paying attention.
Failing to maintain your travel lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maintain your travel lane.
Yeah, and there's several other charges too, but you know what I mean? That's one of the
But that
things.
could result. That could
Absolutely.
result in injury or death.
Right.
Absolutely. What if an animal runs right in the roadway right there, or let's say there's a piece of debris and somebody tries to avoid it,
Right.
and they slam on their brakes. Where are you going? Because you got cars right next to you, and if you try to avoid from falling too close from hitting them because you're already too close already, then you're going to the next lane. Guess what? Now you're creating another crash or several
Right,
crashes.
and so that's what I want people to understand. That if you are in your lane of travel and you move lane of travel because of something that's in front of you, it then becomes your fault.
Correct.
It is not the fault of the person who was in front of you hitting the brakes for whatever
Even if
reason.
you're not falling too close.
Yeah.
Let's say that like
When
the
you
debris,
leave your
like
lane
there's
of
debris
travel?
in the roadway, and you panic and you go out, you're going to be at fault because you left that. We always tell people, whether it's an animal or debris, I mean, God forbid it happens, but you got to strike it.
Yeah.
You can't leave your lanes to try to avoid it when you have massive cars going down the road. You know what I mean? It's just too dangerous, and then you're going to be at fault because you failed to maintain your travel lane and or made an unsafe lane change.
Right.
I mean, whatever they want to use,
Unsafe
because
lane
there's
change,
other
right, okay.
charges, right? So those are the things that they really have to think about and that's why I always say give yourself a buffer zone.
Yeah.
You can always see ahead if you allow yourself 3 to 4 seconds, which is probably like 2 or 3 car lengths away. It gives you enough time to make those reactions.
Yeah.
When you're too close, you have no time to make any reactions.
Yeah, it's people have to know that. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that is very important, and people have to know that on the roadways or on the highways. You know what I'm saying? We don't get it as much on the highways, but you get the idiots that want to be so close because they just want to get around you so they can go 150 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying?
And the higher the speed too, Neil, is you want to back off even further. You want to give yourself more distance because you're traveling so much, feet per second, right? So the faster you go, the more distance you should give yourself.
I was just going to say that I thought in the left-hand lane you're supposed to be closer to the car in front of you because you're trying to get around them. You know what I'm saying?
Seems like it around here, doesn't
right.
it?
With this, a lot of people don't understand too. Just because you hit the car in front of you doesn't mean that that's the only car. You might hit this car, and that car gets pushed
Chain
into the
reaction,
car in front of them. So now you're responsible for those 2 cars. So something to think about as far as
Oh.
damages and
Which
property.
I'm sure happens.
Oh, all the time.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we call it the domino effect, where one car gets hit and now the next car gets hit. I had one maybe 2 months ago where it was 4 cars total. One car hit and then it hit 4 cars after that, so 5 car total pile up.
I just had a fatal case that I just worked yesterday that came to my desk, and it's a 3-car accident.
Yeah.
Person who hit him was impaired, so it's already went out to the press and everything on that. It was a chain reaction because he failed to reduce speed. The 3 cars in front of him were slowing down, or actually it was 2 cars slowing down because of heavy traffic, and he strikes the one in the rear, the left rear, and that hits the other rear. Not as much damage, but somebody had lost their life. Whether that, because they're older,
Yeah.
you can do internal stuff. I'm not saying that's what it is, because
Right, no, of course.
I don't want to misspeak or anything like that.
Of course.
But people have to realize.
In generalized terms.
Absolutely. When
a
I
seatbelt
Yep.
for
and
a
I'll use
person.
another case too. I was a deputy sheriff one time, and we had 2 cars hit, property damage. Guy didn't want to get checked out. It was elderly man, right? I was talking to them. I did all the crash and everything, and told him, hey, you need to get checked out just in case. You know what I mean? But it was a property damage just because he's an older gentleman. Ended up passing away because of internal injury.
Yeah.
But he didn't really know at the time. You're usually got a lot of adrenaline. We'll tell people that are older, get checked out every time, because they might not know their internal organs and everything else. It's not like a young kid that can survive that. You know what I mean? Sometimes their organs don't fare as well. You know what I'm saying? And we lose people that way. You know what I mean? So a lot of times in a lot of these crashes as well, if we're thinking, if they're elderly, we'll still have the ambulance. Everybody check them out to just make sure they're good to go.
Yeah, it's
It
very important.
happens.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Ah, yes.
Since this is going to be aired on Thursday,
This is going to
the
air
next day.
on, right.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we do the Trooper Talk Takeover, the 6
Okay,
episodes
sure.
where we talk all about this. And, one of the things that we talked about, because we had Sergeant Clifton, was the fact that it is going to be a safe environment. Like, obviously the police are going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
people, but this is what they do. And so, Nevada State Police, really takes this at very heart to do amazing things. And so I know that you want to tell us all about the maze.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know what? This year,
Now, did you go through the maze?
Well, you're going to get to go through
did you, though?
this week. We haven't got it. We just got it started setting up yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, just
So it should be ready by tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a call when they get it all.
Right.
You're going to get the first scene
Yes.
hands to everybody on this. But it's going to be a toxic maze.
yes.
And it's going to have like goo hanging out, and we're going to have some of our cadets that are troopers that are going through the academy. They're going to be dressed up in these hazmat suits.
Biohazard
Yeah,
suits.
biohazard. And they're going to be telling you not to go through this maze, and there's going to be stuff hanging down, and I don't want to give it all away.
Of course.
But it's amazing. And it's going to be cool for kids, and then when they get done, they're going to get a sticker that they survived the maze, and then we're going to have, different games, fire engines, all the police cars to look at, different sponsors. We have food trucks. We got like 5 food trucks out there that are coming. And it's a safe environment for family and friends, or just for people just to gather and have fun. And that's what we want. We want them to come and get the candy where they don't have to worry about where it's coming from.
Yeah.
We're getting it directly from the stores ourselves, and it's getting stockpiled. We're going to have to take a picture with that. Before we get it started, we're going to have you over there, Neil, and we're going to get a picture of all this candy from everywhere. So we've been working tirelessly on this.
I know you
It's
have.
been taking a lot of time
I know.
doing all this stuff. But we're doing it for our community and the kids, and that's the main thing. And we just want it to be safe and everybody to have fun for Halloween. We're telling all the kids, make sure you dress up, have fun. We're going to have a neat goodie bag, Halloween bag donated by Neil,
Yeah.
Out there, and everybody's going to be able to get candy and just have fun. So
The people don't realize, right? Like, because he's very modest, and you know what I mean, and all that type of stuff, like your hair, right? Like it's always perfect. But he's very modest,
Right.
and people don't realize how much time he actually does spend to try to get the candy,
Oh, absolutely.
right? And try to get the food vendors and to make sure they're going to be there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, you know, working with Corporal Wellman. I mean, like, people don't see the behind the scenes
Right.
of what it takes to put these type of things on.
Right.
Right? They just think that they're, oh, it's just great. They just show up there
Yeah.
and, you know, and it's all free and all that type
Yep.
of stuff. But the thing is that to work for Nevada State Police, to put your heart and soul into something, you know, you sort of, you have to have your family, you have to have your life, you have to have all these things, and then you have your life over here and your family over here, and sometimes they commingle with each other like we talked about. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there has to be time for family, right? But there's a lot less time for the family when it comes down to it, because we're always thinking about how to get another person for recruiting, right? Oh, I'm in my civilian clothes, and oh, look, there's Bob. He's talking to me about being a police officer.
Yep.
My family's here. Let me just talk to him for 10 minutes and go look around the store. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, Trooper Wellman, he's there and he's, you know, hanging out with his wife, and then all of a sudden he talks to the neighbor and he's like, well, let me talk to you about joining Nevada State Police. I mean, these things happen.
All the time.
And so getting things prepared for the trunk or treat and all this brings into light fantastic things, right? But we also know, okay, that during this time, which we are going to stress over the next 3 months, well, 2 months now, almost 2.5 months, right, is the fact that during these times, people are out doing things that they shouldn't be doing, which is the getting of impaired, either by a legal drug or an illegal drug, prescription medication, non-prescription. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter, right? Because these things are altering our mind. And now, especially, there's so many different things that so many different kids are out and about that, you know, like, this is a place where you can bring your family. It's free. They have cones. Your kids can run around and be kids. No one's going to steal them. No one's taking them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to knock on a house and worry who's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
all these type of things. And this is one of the things that Nevada State Police does, of the humanizing of the badge.
Right.
But to even take it a step further, because a lot of the troopers and stuff are going to be out there with their families.
Right.
Right? Because they have small kids and things like this. So they're like, you know, I'm going to take you there because this is a safe place.
Right.
And so people have to know that the trunk or treat is a wonderful thing, to come there and to spend time on the 24th and all this type of stuff. But also when you're going there and things like this, to also be very mindful of these little kids.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the minds.
Right.
And they will run in front of your car because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And so we never want to be reckless in any way, but especially during these couple of weeks, you know, there's a lot more kids and things like this, young parents, new parents, that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That maybe this is the first Halloween, so like, you know, they're excited and all of a sudden they get in front of a car. I mean, like, all these things. So we just have to be mindful of doing these type of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially around Halloween time, because some of the kids, I mean, this is the week before Halloween, so there are going to be kids out and about, right? So we just have to be extremely mindful of it. But something that Sean talked on earlier was the benefits of being with Nevada State Police. It's not only the gear and the car, the gun, the office, all those things. This is another one of the benefits for Sean, right? He's been working tirelessly for this event, and for it to come to fruition on the 24th is going to be such a benefit for him. He's going to have a whole great sense of accomplishment and pride that he put together most of this by himself. So it's going to be a benefit for him, and I think a lot of the community doesn't understand that either. Is where we get to go out and work these events, and it's a sense of accomplishment being out there talking to these people. Like he said, some of our cadets that are currently going through the academy will be there working, and it's one of their first events that they're ever going to work for Nevada State Police. So the community can come out, meet us, meet the cadets, meet some of the higher ups that will be out there. So come out, have a great time, but please be mindful of all the kids that are going to be running out within this next couple of weeks.
And it's not bad enough that he gets woken up at 2:00 in the morning,
Right.
Because somebody is driving down the 215
Sure.
Right.
in the wrong way,
Yep.
and because they decided to get messed up,
Yeah.
right? And like, oh, by the way, come out, wake up right now, get out of bed, and oh, by the way, come talk to the media because the media wants to know why this person is there
Right.
and what's going on, and so every person that works for Nevada State Police wears many different hats.
Yep.
And does many different things.
Right.
And so just like we started in the beginning, like some of the troopers and stuff, they go do things on the weekends or when their days off are. And so they don't just work for the time and then they just, that's it. These are some of the wonderful things that Nevada State Police does. And we are super proud. And we always want to help.
Right.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And so we wish that there was more businesses and more people that sort of would help as well.
Right.
If you're ever interested, contact him immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
But but the thing is this, that we hope that there are more businesses because $50 buys a lot of candy
for sure.
for a kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so if there's more businesses and things like that out there that would love to help, this is not only a great way to help, but a great organization to help.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
okay.
Neil, I wanted to put this
Look
up
at this.
every time
Whose car is that?
when we end. Well, that was mine. But I wanted to put this up towards the end of every show to show that, we're always recruiting, NHP recruitment, talk a little bit about it too, but I wanted to put a couple of our things that we put out on the social media, and I thought that was kind of a cool one with the trooper
amazing.
looking at his police dog, you know what I mean? But it just gives us a chance to tell people what a great job and what a great career this is. And even though this is just highlighting NHP right now, we're one big family. We're just a division of the Nevada State Police. So, and we have so many different divisions that you can go into: parole and probation, state fire marshal, division investigations, the governor's detail. Did I miss any of them?
Capitol Police.
Yeah, Capitol Police.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many different things that you can go, and then when you get into those divisions, there's so many things you can branch off.
Right.
Like being a trooper, you could be K-9, you could be motors, you could go to our MATE, which is our fatal investigation teams. Let me see, there's a few other ones, aren't there? Commercial. We have commercial units,
sure.
stuff like that. So there's so many different things that you can branch out once you become a trooper, just in our organization, but same with parole and probation. He could tell you all the different ones on that. So that's what makes our department so great is you don't have to stay in one place. You can actually transfer for openings if you choose to do so in the future. And likewise, if you're a trooper and let's say you don't want to live in Vegas, or your wife gets transferred, and let's say she goes to Reno or something, the minute that opening comes up, you're able to go transfer up there. So that's one of the beautiful things. And then if you live out in the rural areas and you want to stay there, we always want to recruit people and let them stay in their community because they already know their community. They know all the ins and outs and where to go. And it's better for their family because they want to live that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and start when you're 18, retire when you're 48.
Yep.
You have your whole entire life ahead of you. You have pension. You've worked a great career. You have great friends. You have all these type of things, right? Take home car. You know what I mean? All this, and just like you alluded to, I come back to the Sergeant Donaldson, right? Trooper Slater. These are people that work within the department that have created their own little niche of what it is that they're super passionate about. And Nevada State Police allows you the opportunity to become passionate about what it is that you're trying to do. And so if you want to get people off the roadways because of DUIs, you know, if you want to do the K9, right? You know, Sergeant Keene comes on and talks about the, you know, climbing underneath the tractor trailers with,
Right.
with oil dripping on his face. I mean, like, you know, these are the things that it's annoying. Nobody wants oil dripped on their face, but the difference is that, you know, you're so passionate about what it is that you do that you don't want that truck going down the road with oil leaking, you know, because it ruins the roadways. It allows somebody to make an accident, you know, all these different things. And so I love the pictures.
And you're talking about passionate things. I got to tell you something.
Yes. I wanna hear.
Sergeant Donaldson,
Yes.
you know, he's very passionate about DUIs and everything.
Yeah.
Always has been, and excellent. But he's passionate about driving now. He's an EVOC instructor.
Yeah.
So he's actually at EVOC, the emergency vehicle training instructor. He got into that now. And then we always known Slater, you know, because he's very passionate about DUIs and all
Yeah.
that. He's an instructor also, but he does, you know, the specialized fields, you know, for impaired driving and everything. So people that are very passionate, they're able to be instructors if they want to, whether it's defensive tactics or something that, you know, we've got range masters, stuff like that. So you can even enhance your skills and become better, you know, an expert in your field. And I just had to tell you that because you brought about passionate. Donaldson's now an EVOC instructor.
So,
Yeah.
one of the people that I've known for a long time is Sergeant Dunlap for Henderson Police.
Okay.
Because he's part of the IPOF. He was very good friends with Eric and all this type of stuff. Well, he came in a couple weeks ago into the store. He just made lieutenant. He just made captain.
Oh.
He went from sergeant to lieutenant to captain, right? And he told me, because we were just having a conversation about Trooper Talk, that Sergeant Abate, because he said that he was the EVOC instructor, right? And that Sergeant Abate was the only person who ever beat him as being the EVOC instructor.
Well, did he know that he used to be a race car driver too?
Well, I don't know.
It runs in the family. You know what I mean?
But you know,
Yeah.
it's wonderful because we keep trying to keep everyone's memory alive.
Oh, absolutely.
And so Sergeant Donaldson, I'm sure, had nothing better to do, right? Like he doesn't catch enough people with driving. He doesn't spend enough time with his family.
Being a supervisor.
Now as supervisor, now he wants to do this. But that's what you do, right? Like when you become and you work for the Nevada State Police, it's not just a job. You know, like some people, they just want to have a job, which is respectful. And then some people want to have a job that is a life. And so this is something that Nevada State Police does. That's a good slogan. Make your job into your life. But that's something the Nevada State Police does. And every single person that comes on to Trooper Talk, doesn't matter who it is, from the major to the lieutenants to the captains to everybody, they all do the same. And Nevada State Police is their life. So if you want to join, right, and drive these fancy cars and work with fantastic people and have tremendous opportunities in life. And again, I come back to most people, they don't look at 65. They look at their age. But what people don't understand is that they are 25, they wake up the next day and they're 40, and then they wake up the next day and they're 65. And so when you're 65, you can't do the same. You try, and some people think that they can, but you can't do the same things as when you're 18 or when you're 25 when you're 65.
Right.
And one of the things that you can't do is you can't continue to work and do these crazy things because your body it's not in that same place. And there's people that can do it, and I'm not downgrading that in any way. But, you know, one of the things that's very important is that when you work for the Nevada State Police and you get to the point of retirement, you have that pension for the rest of your life. Whatever dollar amount that is. Where most people, they work till 65 and they only have Social Security.
Right.
And what we found is that Social Security doesn't matter how much money you've paid into the system; it's never really enough to
Live comfortably.
live comfortably for your life, right? And so you have to get a job.
Right.
And so, what better way to do that than to start young and, work? And so, and the last thing I'm going to say is this: Nevada State Police does not have an age requirement on the flip side.
Right.
Correct.
So you can, as long as you can, and we've talked about, you can complete everything and complete the academy and all this type of stuff, then you can join, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's also for our lateral troopers. If there's any lateral troopers, not even from the state of Nevada, but from across the country, as long as our post-certification translates to their certification, we will gladly take you as a lateral trooper or officer. And that also applies to the age limit, and we have no age limit. So if you are a 55-year-old officer out in Arkansas and you want to transfer over, we will gladly take you over as long as your certification transfer over. But yeah, we have no age limit as long as you are able to complete the requirements that we're asking you to do, physical testing requirement, written testing, and as well as the academy. We will take you as quick as you want to come over.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And go to NevadaStatePolice.com
Yeah, you
if
missed that
you're
part.
looking
I
at
did. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
NevadaStatePolice.com. That's why I got my partner over here.
Right.
Hey, that's why we're partners.
Yes,
we
right.
work together. And you know what? With Nevada State Police, you learn how to work as a team.
Yeah.
I'm not
You know what I
disagreeing. You guys finish each other's statements.
That's
I
right.
think it's
Go.
fantastic. All right. Before we end,
Yep.
let's talk about one thing. We have the trunk or treat. People need to be very cognizant of the fact of the roadways now. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
people are doing Christmas parties and Thanksgiving parties and Halloween parties, and more so than the middle of the summer and all this type of stuff. That's the first thing I want to talk about very quickly. And then the second thing I want to talk about is this. When I drive home now, the lights are on because it's dark.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now when you drive to work, depending on what time you drive to work, but a lot of times it could be dark now, and there could be things in the roadways and things of this nature that you didn't see or you didn't recognize or whatever, that we have to make sure that people are aware of, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we're getting into winter time now, so I mean we're in fall right now, but like you said, the lighting's changing. It's getting darker, easier, a lot earlier, and also the sun's not coming up. Usually, I'm like a clock. I can tell by the sunlight
I know.
when to get up. I can get up before my alarm goes off because your body just adjusts to it. But yeah, when you're driving out there, like we kind of said with the Falling Too Close episode that we talked about a little bit here, give yourself some time. Give a little bit of buffer zone, and always have your head on a swivel. Kind of, you got to look, off to the left, to the right, and you got to see way ahead of when you're driving, because you know what, there could always be something that comes out, whether it's in the road, somebody could come to a complete stop. So just kind of be mindful and always use your lights. Like you said, now's the time to start using your headlights, and always make sure that you buckle up. The minute you get in your car, you should automatically be wearing those seatbelts no matter what, because seatbelts really truly save lives. We've talked about that on the past shows about people would be here today with us because they got in a rollover and got ejected or whatever. Just by wearing that simple seatbelt, those cars would have saved their lives. So there's no reason that, I know people say, oh, it's uncomfortable. I've been wearing it my whole life, and I don't even notice it when I put it on.
Yeah.
There's times that I've reached over to put it on, it's already on, because you just get in that mode. So you won't even notice that seatbelt, and it can save your life sometimes. So that's the biggest thing. Start using your headlights, wear that seatbelt, and if you're going to talk on a mobile phone, make sure it's hands-free or through your car system, so you don't have it in your hand, and also try to avoid distracted driving. I know that we get in a rush, we want to eat and do all this stuff, but you always got to pay attention on the road, because you're the one behind that 4,000-pound vehicle, and you're the sole responsibility. Not only to yourself, but others out there on the road.
I thought you're supposed to go to the burger place, get the cheeseburger, eat it, and drive with the knees. And have the French fries and this. You're not supposed to do that anymore.
People do that more than you know.
Probably not, no.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
You know what I
no.
mean? Here's what I'm going to tell you, that people need to be very careful.
Yep.
And people need to know that there's people's and they're taking their families, other people's families at risk when they do these type of activities. And so if you don't want to be on the planet, then don't be on the planet. Take yourself to a private area and be done. You know what I'm saying? Because when you take and you get behind the wheel, you are taking everyone's family in your hands. And so you have to be very careful. That means no speeding. That means no impairment. That means that if you want to get impaired by any means that you want to get impaired, call a friend, call a family member, take an Uber, do whatever it is that you want.
Just don't get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
That's what we ask.
Do you wear a costume on Halloween?
Usually for the little ones, I do. Yeah.
And do you mess up your hair?
If it's required.
Like, do
then
you
yeah.
wear a mask
Yeah.
that goes on? And when you do that, does it mess up your hair?
Most of the time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be a great picture. You
I
know
love
what I'm saying? Louis with the messed up hair. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Neil.
You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it. I love doing this. Next time when we come here, we're gonna have the fireplace. and
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Neil,
no,
but
listen, I'm telling you,
that's
that
kind of cool, though.
that fireplace right there with the stockings that say Trooper Talk and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Be pretty cool.
It's gonna be the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever. Thanks so much.
All right.
okay?
Thank you, Neil.
All right, make sure you wave. See you later.
Bye,
See you
guys.
on the 24th.
Yeah.